Hey everyone, welcome back to John's Crit Vlog, where this week we found transition screens between races, taking their production to a whole nother level. Watch out. This is some track racing from Hellyer Velodrome in San Jose, California. It was an international Omnium night, so that means it's the same events as in the Olympic Omnium, which is a scratch race, tempo race, elimination race, and a points race. And first up is a scratch race. It's just like a crit. First person across the line wins. The Omnium points go 5 places deep. I cut out the boring part at the beginning. There were some attacks, but nothing really stuck. You can see we're riding pretty wide across the track here, so it's pretty easy. Somebody up top there is attacking. Everybody down low here is kind of just winding it up to follow. But it's starting to light it up. I think that said 6 to go. See, it gets pretty strung out here. I didn't get on that wheel quite quick enough, but I think I get back onto it on this occasion. Chasing hard. Didn't want to let this go because that would have been all of the Omnium points up the road. And I still wanted to get some. You can see at least one person on my wheel here. And we make it up. And yeah, this guy slots in, gap closed. So that move is neutralized, but just had to spend a pretty good amount of energy to get back on terms. So I was hoping I could take a little breather before we ramped it up again for the finish. And everybody's kind of content, yeah, all the way across the track again. I think we let the whole group come back together, which was fine. I think it was like the same 5 to 7 people that were at the front of every race. It seems like that's how it is most nights. Even though, when we have a field of 20, that there's not that many people actually scoring points for the Omnium. So I'm probably kind of far forward here. 2 laps to go. Yeah, look at this attack coming on the right. Just kidding. Those shadows spooked me. In retrospect, watching this back, I maybe should have sent something at this point, because coming into 1 to go is a little bit late for me. And yeah, there comes the attack. I could not get on the wheel, or those wheels, or that wheel, or that one. I think we finally get going again, but yeah, these guys are right away from me a little bit on the last lap. That's okay. Once I realized there was more than 5 of them ahead of me, I stopped pedaling so hard because there weren't any points left after 5th. But, so that was a pretty scratch race, I would say. Next up is the tempo race, and I got the whole thing going. Basically what happened in this race is a few guys went off the front in the beginning and got all the points, and then around mid-race they got brought back, and that's when it slowed back down again, and I ended up off the front for a while and got a bunch of points. And the way this tempo race worked is every lap, first place gets 2 points and second place gets 1 point, and then at the very end, on the last lap, I think it went 3-2-1 to the first 3 places. So you see these guys kind of dangling off. I was kind of sitting, doing a good job of letting other people do work, but still this is making progress to come back. Follow this move here, getting closer to the front of the race, but not quite back yet. And so I think, so to this point there had been a break of 3 off the front that had just eaten up all of the early race points. I felt like I played my cards pretty well while they were away. Like, other people did work to bring them back, but they got brought back. That's the important thing. If a break dangles in this, they sweep up all the points. And so when we finally bring back these 2 people who'd been attacking, I just kept going over the top of them because we were getting pretty close to the finish there, and I took that lap off them. So those were my first points of the race, I think. And after I took the points, I had the momentum, so I just kept going. I didn't realize that we had like broken away at this point. I thought we were just towards the front of the group, but we actually had a gap. And so I was going to keep the pressure on just to make sure our pace stayed high enough that we stayed away. And I think I also take this lap. Yeah, 2 laps for John. See 2 guys on my wheel, and they come around, and I was pretty tired, I think. So I just followed. I didn't get this lap. That was okay. I just got in 2 laps, so I was feeling pretty good. But I knew we could still get the second place point, so I thought that guy might let me have the points since I let him have the last points. But you'll see coming around here, he swoops me right on the line. Yeah, took away my point. No chill there. So I didn't have any legs left at this point, and I think we're coming into the last lap, and I realized how big of a gap we had back to the field. There's nobody else, so I just sat up and rolled it in for the third place 1 point on that one. I think I got third in the event towards the Omnium points. So last one's Elimination Race. You go around once one neutral lap, and then after that the last person gets pulled until you're down to one person. And the first one of these I did was absolutely atrocious. I was the second person out. And spoiler alert, I did an absolute trash job again this time and was also the second person out. But since then, I got to do a third one of these, and I actually did much better. And in that one, I got fourth place, which I was so stoked about. Just like my goal was to just, be above mid pack for it. But I ended up fourth. I think there was like 20 people in that one. It was a pretty big one. I'll have the video of that at some point. But I was pretty happy to. I was feeling a lot better about elimination races after that one. But I was very upset with myself after this particular race where I ended up being second person out again. So I guess, I'm not that far back on this lap, but it usually like bunches up at the sprint of every lap, it feels like, and you have to be like savvy about where you're going. So a lot of the guys on the top, you have to go further around, but if you have space, that can be a good thing sometimes. And so I think we're coming up to the one where I get pulled here. I was aware that I was near the back, but I didn't think I was at the back. So like I did try to sneak up the inside a little bit. If you watch here, a lot of people still come past me on the right. I'm not entirely convinced that was actually last. Maybe I went below the black line or something, and that was why I got pulled. But live and learn for the next one. These are done for the season, so no new track footy until April. But thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.